Hi, how's everybody doing today? I hope you're all doing wonderful. Thank you for being here. Thank you to my subscribers and the new viewers. Thank you for coming. Well, this is video number 11. Oh, and of course, you're at Mother's Tarot channel, and I'm Loretta. Today is video number 11 in the Star Lineage spread. What star are we from? Message from above. And today, of course, we've got 8 cards. These are the main 7. And then the 8th card is the underlying energies. I always pull that one. So, and today we have, let's see, 1, 2, 3 cards showing up for the first time. And that would be the first card is Seduction and Addiction, Orion Present. And then, let's see, Homing Beacon, Vegan Future is first time for this card coming up. And then our underlying energy card, Belief System Earth, first time for this one coming up. So that's exciting. All right, so I'm going to show them to you as I'll pick them up and introduce you to the card prior to reading all of them. Right now, I'm going to go into the narrative. So for anyone who's new coming by, and for us that are keeping track of this and enjoying it and learning and finding what resonates with us in these cards. So I'm going to read the narrative I have for all of us. Galactic Heritage Cards are used to help us tap into our star lineage and karmic patterns, and also reveal lessons brought to Earth from the stars and how these lessons can be used in our life on Earth now. A star lineage spread more accurately reflects what stellar influences. There's the book there. What influences are working with you now in the moment you choose the cards. If you do readings often, the cards may change, but over time you will notice a pattern that keeps emerging if you are working with the cards in a sincere way. This is a fluid system without fixed positional meanings because it represents the multidimensional and holographic nature of consciousness. Each card has a number, a civilization, a theme, and text that goes with it. The numbering order is based on the journey from unity to polarity, through integration and back to unity. We have 21 different species and 108 cards in this deck. 4 timeline suits, past, present, future, and parallel. The cards are numbered based on the journey from unity to polarity and back to unity, reflecting a universal theme that of a state of oneness, a fragmentation into individuality, and the process of integration back to the state of oneness. Thus, the cards in the lower numbers represent the earliest process of unity fragmenting into individuality and the star consciousness who guides us. Early to mid-range numbers represent the physical civilizations. The higher number cards are the reintegration cards, representing a movement of energy from unity to polarity and then to reintegration. Card numbers later in the deck represent the integrative processes of our star family as it moved towards unity. Parallel cards refer to a certain era of that civilization on the card. Future cards are an era of mature civilizations where our extraterrestrial guidance mostly comes. These cards work with your intuition. Okay. It's always good to hear that, so it reminds us. And plus, we're learning. I have to hear things repeatedly in order for it to stay with me. Okay, I know I got a little bit of a shadow thing, so I'm trying to not let that happen. Uh, yeah, maybe one day I'll be a professional, but not today. So our first card up, I'm gonna find it in the book, and I'm gonna show you the card. Okay, here we go. This is the first time this one's come up, and this is Seduction and Addiction, number 58, Orion, in the present timeline. Mm, Looks like he's working on something, right? Kind of, sort of. Looks like a drawer behind him, a couple of drawers. Like he's on a desk. Okay. Card number one, or pull number one, I guess. Card number 58. Each time we engage in a habit or thought pattern, it grows stronger. We eventually crave the fulfillment of the habit like a drug. The thought of fulfillment, that habit acts like a seduction for the ego. It must engage in this behavior pattern in order to feel normal. This is true for our addiction to polarity, judgment, and categorization. We are compelled to judge everything we see or experience in order to make sense of reality and feel safe. But if our consciousness, and thus our planet, is going to transform, we must learn to resist the seduction of this addiction, which will shift us to a transcendent state. This card refers to the time in Orion history when they were trying to heal the polarity in their civilization and their consciousness. They were eventually successful, but it took a lot of self-exploration in order for them to stop reinforcing old habitual patterns of polarized thought. As long as polarized thought exists, beings are never free to live as their true selves, fully integrated awareness. So what is polarized thought? It can be obvious, such as viewing reality through the lens of good and evil, or it can be subtle, such as unconsciously seeing yourself as separate, bad, lacking, non-deserving, and so on. As long as we allow polarized thought to dominate our awareness, it is like feeding an addiction that only craves more and more polarized beliefs in order to survive. This addictive this addiction is seductive. It lures you into the trap of sabotaging beliefs and behavior and stops the process of awakening. If this card came up in your reading, look at the other cards to see if there is a theme repeating itself. It is also asking you to examine your innermost self for addictive thought patterns that keep you stuck in suffering and pain. Those thought patterns are no longer necessary, and when they change, suffering is lessened considerably. The power for change, freedom, and happiness is in your hands, and it all stems from being aware of how your thoughts affect your experience of reality. The ancient Orient had to learn this also. They succeeded and eventually awakened to a very high level of consciousness. This is possible for you as well. I know I battle with this, with the thought, you know, we all do. It keeps us from going into meditation, especially deep meditation. It prevents us from doing a lot of things. They, yeah, feeling polarized, that polarity. I don't like that feeling. I felt that yesterday when I didn't think I should have. When I was feeling like a duck out of water, I was experiencing that. So let's move on here to the second card that was pulled. Homing Beacon, card number 71. Vega Future. This is the first time this card's come up also. Looks like a bird, right? Supposed to. Like a pigeon, like a homing pigeon. Yeah. Okay, let's take a look at card number 71. See what pearls of wisdom we can find. Here it is. In the ancient days, the Vegan mystics developed their practices as a way to always connect with the source or home, using them as a homing beacon. Eventually, they no longer needed spiritual technology or spiritual processes to make this connection. They felt the source within them at all times. You too have this ability deep within you. Learn to quiet the mind through breathing or meditation, and then just let go. As you trust in your practice, the feeling of connectedness to the source will grow and grow until it permeates every part of your life. If you need help, ask the ancient pagan mystics to assist you. This time stream represents the Vegan culture after they healed their greatest challenges as a young species. In the prism of Lyra cosmology, the Vegans were the species who retained their memories and connections to the source, the unfragmented aspect of creation, most completely. Their system of mysticism is well known throughout the galactic family and has influenced countless civilizations, including Earth. This is because they have retained the energetic memory of the unified field of creation. This memory acts like a homing beacon, a proverbial light in the darkness that realigns them when they lose their way, like an ability to sense true north. While this trait is attributed to the Vegans because of their spiritual commitment and their self-discipline, every species has this ability to remember the essence of creation and never lose its way. It is only when beings get distracted by physical reality that they believe they have gotten lost. If this card is in your reading, take a look at the surrounding cards and your life circumstances. The message may be that you need to go within and find your center once again. Find true north and trust it. The card could also be affirming that you are already strongly tapping into this skill, but most likely it is encouraging you to develop your natural ability to reconnect with your source, higher self, God, or whatever term you wish to use to denote the intelligent force in the universe that unifies us all. Yeah, that was good. That was real insightful. Meditation, so important. Okay. Our third pull is card number 30. Survival Fears, Zeta Reticuli, Past. Now, this one's a repeater. This is the third time this one has come up. I'm going to read it again. Here we go. In the ancient days of Zeta Reticuli, oh, sorry about that. There we go. Right there. In the ancient days of Zeta Reticuli, their species nearly destroyed themselves due to high planetary toxicity and misuse of technology. When they realized that their species was dying, they experienced the most primal of fears, that of no longer continuing as a species. These survival fears forced them to look deeply within and make drastic changes. The same is true in our lives. Often we don't make changes until we can clearly see that our old ways will only destroy us. By then we have little chance of change. What part of your life needs to be changed? Begin the process now before it becomes too difficult. The saga of the Zetas is extremely important to humans, for they represent a possible timeline of Earth that could possibly destroy itself. Originally from the Vega colonies, the Zeta species created a very unbalanced society that focused on mental ability and technological advancement to the exclusion of nearly all else. This created an extremely toxic environment on their world, which caused sterility and a rapid declining planetary ecosystem. The cards from the three Zeta eras, past, present, and future, explore the depths of their despair and the transformation that saved their species. This card explores the deep emotional trauma that the Zetas experienced as they realized their species was dying. This card refers to the most primal of fears, that of survival. Humans experience this terror time and again. We only have to look at conditions on the planet to know that at any given moment, thousands are experiencing this fear. If you have pulled this card, look at it in the contents of your life circumstances and in other cards. Perhaps the card is telling you to look at your own survival fears and learn to heal them. Perhaps it is telling you that you have a connection to the Zetas of this era and are helping them in some way. If you have no clear understanding of what this card means in the context of your life, use the theme in your meditations to see if you can gain deeper clarity. Working with this issue as a human is extremely powerful and can change your life because it can free you from the worry, fear, and anxiety that keep you stuck. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. I'm just going to let that stand. Birth and expansion. Card number 13 is our next card. From Lyra, past. And this is the fourth time. The fourth time this one's come forward. So this is trying to jump out. Okay? So I'm gonna read this and pay close attention because it is important. Loud message coming through. All right. My left thumb is trying to go to sleep on me again. So here we go. As the Lyra civilization grew, I did hold this up, didn't I? Well, just count it up to a senior moment, just in case. All right. There we go. As humanoid races, no. Wrong one side. Here we go. Sorry about that. As the Lyran civilization grew, it unleashed a tremendous amount of creative energy. There was so much excitement to build this new civilization and expand into the galaxy. It was a time of optimism, enthusiasm, and creative experimentation. This card reminds you of that ancient time that you were a part of, and it encourages you to once again find that creative spark within you. Don't be afraid of your creativity. There were times when you were punished for it, but that really has passed. Yeah, that must be why this keeps coming up, this card. So I really did experience that very much in the past. It's time to release the karmic pattern of fearing your creativity and trust the universe to support it. You know, I'm less worried about the universe and more concerned about the earthlings. Maybe that's where that's coming from for me. Okay, I'll continue on. I'm sorry. Because this refers to the time period of Lyra's past pioneering spirit and their commitment and enthusiasm to build the physical reality that they desired, a masculine trait. You might think that this is a card that represents a focus on masculine energy. That isn't necessarily true. It refers even more deeply to the creative process of the Lyrans, which, when used in a healthy way, was a very balanced expression. Creativity can be used for service or for selfishness. In their journey to the mature as a species, the Lyrans used this creativity in both ways, and they learned the lessons of selfishness, which they made unconscious, self-serving choices. Just like children or teenagers learn about the results of their choices, so did the Lyrans. If you have this card in your reading, look at the surrounding cards. If there is a theme of several cards that warn of ego traps, pay attention to your hidden desires for your creative process. If the cards have a theme of nurturing your creative process or spiritual development, then you are encouraged to trust your creative process and take risks with it, even if you don't know where it will lead. Yeah, I know that's what they're telling me. And that's what I'm trying. Okay, our next card pulled was card number 91, Dreamtime and Awakening, the Cetacean Whale. One of these days I'm going to say that Cetacean without any hesitation. Cetacean whale. There's the whale. Okay, this position is 6. And this is the third time I've been visited with the Cetacean whale. Okay, I'll find it. Almost there. Here we go. Whale consciousness, which is connected to Sirius and is more like a group consciousness, has the capability of rising above the dream of physical reality and operating in an awakened state. For millennia, whales have been our guides beyond the physical plane. Now that it is time for human consciousness to evolve, we too must learn to rise above the dream of a physical reality and enter the awakened state that is in the true reality. In meditation, imagine the loving presence of a whale and connect with its heart. Breathe together. Let it guide you through dream time and into awakening. Whale consciousness connected to Sirius is very unique, whereby individual human souls incarnate in bodies. Whale consciousness is a fifth density vibration and represents group consciousness. Each whale is actually a group unified field of consciousness. Whale consciousness has the ability to operate in an awakened state, seeing the true reality of existence instead of the dream time of the illusion of physical reality. For millennia, whales have acted as spiritual guides for indigenous peoples around the world, coming to them in dreams to communicate the greater truths of the universe. If this card has appeared in your reading, you most likely have a strong connection with Sirius and or whale consciousness already, or this consciousness is just beginning to work with you and wishes to be acknowledged. If you wish to work with it, connect with whale's consciousness before going to sleep. This will open you to further communication and guidance in the dream state. Whale consciousness is essential to this time now on Earth because they serve as guides for human consciousness as we break free of illusion and begin to awaken. It is also possible that if this card appears in your reading, there is something in your life that needs to be seen clearly without illusion in order for you to move to the next level of your growth. Yeah. We're all looking to move to the next level of our growth, I would imagine. While those of us that are pulling cards or seeking cards. Yeah. Okay. Now this seventh pull we had was card number 108, Emptiness or in Light, Future. And this is the second time this card has appeared. Okay. So I will read Emptiness. This just recently came up too. Okay, here we go. Imagine taking off in a plane. At first it is bumpy, and the scenery is filled with many distracting things. This represents the mind. As you take off and fly through the clouds, it is like passing through the emotions. Sometimes there is bumpiness in the clouds. Eventually, you rise above the clouds, and there is nothing but endless, empty sky. This is your true state of consciousness, an endless, empty field of awareness that contains nothing. There are no opinions or desires, only light, the Orion light within you, the sky, has always existed and always will. When you recognize this, you awaken. The last four cards of the deck access the energy called the Orion light. They reference the complete healing and integration of not only the polarity within the Orion system that has affected us all, but the polarity that played out within the holographic matrix of creation. This last card of the deck represents the end point of our journey from unity to polarity to reintegration. The theme of this card, emptiness, refers to a state of complete integration and balance. When polarity ceases and the consciousness of the one is at rest but ever abiding, both completely full and empty simultaneously. This card captures the energy of paradox and is actually our true nature. Adept meditators and yogis have experienced this state as various forms of samadhi. But the paradox is that as soon as we try to describe it, as soon as we try to describe it, its true experience, its true essence becomes distorted. It can only be experienced. So why did this card come up in your spread? Again, it depends on your life circumstances and the other cards in your reading. Most likely it is because somehow you need a reminder of where you're going, eventually back to the source, and a reminder about your true nature, empty, full, devoid of polarity. This card is meant as an encouragement for your spiritual journey and an embrace given to you by the source itself. Surrender to the embrace, become nothing, and you will find that in that nothingness, the loving, full The loving fullness of creation will be all that exists. Wow. Well, that was beautiful and insightful. Now let's look at the underlying energy of the spread. Belief systems, card 53, Earth Present. Okay. And this is the first time this card's been pulled. So, oops. Hold on just a sec. Here we go. All right. There is a human tendency. Now, this is the underlying energy. There is a human tendency to cling to belief systems and rationalize them as facts without realizing that they are illusions. In fact, any construct of our minds, beliefs, thoughts, emotions, is an illusion and not representative of our true nature as aware consciousness beyond the human experience. This is seen as a unique human trait, one that obstructs our growth at every turn. Take a look at your belief system and your view of the world. See them as constructs of ego rather than universal truths. Only one truth exists, that you are pure consciousness. Everything else is an illusion. Okay. All right. Here we go. Belief systems are complex maps that we build within us that help us navigate our inner and outer worlds and create our views of reality. They are often formed unconsciously from early life experiences or past lives. They keep us feeling safe, but they also stop us from growing. On Earth, at this point in time, there is a high degree of attachment to our belief systems, and this keeps us in opposition to each other, as is seen in religious, political, and social conflicts. Personally, our belief systems keep us stuck. They stop us from loving ourselves, from growing, from healing, and from moving toward unity consciousness. In this time of tremendous growth on Earth, it becomes essential to look within the identity, these belief systems, including those about ourselves and those about the world around us. If this card came up in your reading, you are being asked to look at the belief system of those around you and how you are affected as how you own, as well as your own belief system keep you stuck and possibly hurt those in your life. This quest is not a pleasant one, but it is an essential one for all those seeking to awaken their consciousness. Take a look at the surrounding cards to see if there is a clue as to which belief system needs exploring. If not, go on a treasure hunt deep inside yourself. What you will find can greatly serve you in your growth if you apply the lessons. Well, that was good. Sorry about the noise outside. He'll pass in just a minute here. We got gardeners out there on the grounds. Okay. Well, I am going to say thank you, everyone, all of the viewers, subscribers, new viewers alike, and returning viewers. Thank you. I love what is being revealed in this deck. What's being taught. Um, no one else is explaining any of this. You know, the different planets, the reasons, the whys, the what fors, the dimensional difference, and all that. So, I really am enjoying this, and I hope you are too. Thank you so much for being here. I love you. I love you. I love you. I love you. I do. Please don't forget to hit the thumbs up button and subscribe if you haven't. And I'll see you in the next video. I love you guys. Take really care of yourselves. Remember to meditate, breathe deeply. Okay. See you in the next video. Bye bye.